reactivating your intuitive gifts and abilities through your past lives, your Akashic records. So I'm Erin, intuitive medium, Akashic and spiritual mentor. And when we do Akashic work, so either through a session or if you learn to work in your Akashic records, you can learn to reactivate your gifts and abilities. So what does that really mean? What it means is sometimes just witnessing what you have done in past lives, the power, what you bring, how you've helped people heal, how you've, maybe it's your intuitive work, some form of energy healing, Reiki, herbs, tinctures, whatever it was. You can reactivate those gifts and abilities just by witnessing. Sometimes we need to do this kick-ass reactivation ceremony that happens in the past life. So the version of you today and the version of you in the past. So it's a pretty fucking awesome thing that's been uncovering for me, the ceremony, the last year. So keep going for more details. So reactivating your gifts and abilities in your past lives through your Akashic records. So your past lives are your Akashic records. The Akashic records is a fancy way of saying your past life, your soul's personal history. So your Akashic records is your history book. Let's look at it like that. So purposefully reactivating your gifts and abilities. Like I said, going into past lives to see and witness what you've done, how you've helped people. Sometimes our soul really needs to bring that back up, like the good that we have done, how we have helped, you know, as a healer, as an intuitive. It gives us inspiration for today. It gives us that soul connection, that drive. And sometimes some of those gifts and abilities we're meant to use again today. So they will be presented in past lives for us to use again. So like I said before, sometimes it's just your soul just needs to witness it. And sometimes we do an actual ceremony. So that ceremony is pretty fucking awesome. And it's always different depending on the person and what we're doing. So reactivation of your gifts and abilities in your past lives, your Akashic records. So one reactivation recently that I did, there was a version of them in the past where they could time travel. So the version of them that was living in that lifetime, it was about the 1600s, and they would flash back to an older version of them. They would go through this portal. It's fucking awesome. So what we did was reactivate her abilities today to go back in and access that wisdom and that knowledge. So what we did, so she had presented as kind of a younger version, but in the past version of her, she was really an older version with all the wisdom and knowledge. So as soon as she went through the portal, she was the older version of herself. As soon as she would come through, she would go through, get what she needs, come back. So in this life today, we reactivated her ability to access that wisdom and that knowledge again. So giving her access to kind of the younger and the older version of her is how the reactivation went. So a couple more reactivations that I remember. So, you know, when you're channeling, if you channel, you know, you don't always really remember. You remember some of the cool highlights and stuff, but you don't always remember the fine details. But I know one, the old version of them, the new version of, well, today's version of them, and then Isis was there to help. So they kind of hand stacked. So the energy was stacking through, rebuilding, reconnecting, recreating. So what really happens is kind of like this explosion of energy, and it goes through. So it's like the old version of you is sending the new version of you like this amazing amount of energy and information, knowledge and wisdom, and then your today's version, your soul takes that on. So how does that manifest in your life today? So your gifts can shift, they can enhance, what you're doing can be enhanced, something else will turn on. It's really custom and unique to what you need going forward, but spirit is there to help guide you and assist you through it. So if you want more information on looking into reactivating gifts and abilities in your past lives, through your past lives, through my soul alchemy session, so that's a session where I facilitate, guide you through, and then clearing for somebody who's going to be watching this. So I do the work for you, and we figure out what you're doing, and then, you know, how are you supposed to use these things going forward. So whatever we uncover, reactivate, whatever it is. So through my soul alchemy session, that is how I help you. But if you are ready to go in and work in your Akashic records personally to heal, to clear, to reactivate your gifts and abilities, then the Akashic Mastery Program is coming up on November 27th. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions on either. I'm going to be talking a lot about witch wounds and healing using your past lives. So there's going to be a lot coming up. So if you have questions about it, been curious, please don't hesitate to reach out. So if you're ready for Soul Alchemy or Akashic Mastery, let me know.